Simply this. I believe the big lie that's going to be hoisted upon the world is that the aliens created mankind, which I categorically reject. It's funny. The people that will accept the fact that the Anunnaki, star creatures, came to this planet will avoid fallen angels like a plague. I wanted the correct, in my opinion, after 40 years of research, I wanted the correct historic and biblical presentation of the giants. And quite candidly, when I talk to some of them, if I start talking about fallen angels having sex with earth women, they snicker. Well, that snicker tells me they've already made up their mind.
Shalom. All praises to the Most High and His beloved Son. This is the voice of Hikariel, proving the existence of the Most High. Now, just like what the man said, you have those who snicker at this truth, that say that the Bible is just a fairy tale, but these giants or Nephilim prove that the Most High is real, because guess what? You're going to see them. You're going to lose your mind. The government is hiding these falling angels, these spirits of evil, to create their new world order. All right, I'm going to start with the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 6 verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Now, that the sons of God, which are the angels, these watchers, had sex with women. They weren't supposed to. That's why they're fallen angels, and they will be judged altogether. Now, David also fought a Nephilim, or a giant. In the scriptures, they were called the Anakims. From there, let's go to Luke chapter 18 verse 26. For y'all that's still saying that the Most High is not real and giants and all that, it's just a fairy tale. Luke chapter 18 verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. This verse is saying that the times of Noah is going to manifest itself in these times. All right, we're in the last days, so you're going to see giants. That the military are keeping them to push out their new world order. All right, now y'all are eating, you're drinking, you're chasing women. All right, your mind is not in the scriptures. You're not living in the fear of the Most High in hopes to escape the tribulation. Verse 27, they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. The giants are underneath, and they're hidden underground by the government. The wicked is reserving them to unleash them, very soon. The book of Enoch, chapter 3, verse 6. And it came to pass, when the sons of men had increased, that in those days they were born to them fair and beautiful daughters, just like what I read in Genesis chapter 6, verse 2. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, Come, let us choose for ourselves wives from the children of men. Let us beget for ourselves children.
They're starting from the premise that all the giants are gone. We're starting from the premise that there are modern day giants now who aren't suffering from acromegaly or some pituitary disorder, but they're literally going to fulfill the biblical statement of Matthew 24, where Jesus said, just as in the days of Noah, so would it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Most people do not understand the evil. Most people can't even embrace the fact that this isn't about old bones. This is about a contemporary threat beyond any science fiction twisting of the facts.
All right, I'm going to skip to verse 7. I'm going to skip to chapter 7, verse 1. And they took wives for themselves. Everyone chose for himself one each. And they began to go into them and were promiscuous with them. And they taught them charms and spells. And they showed them the cutting of roots and trees. And they became pregnant and bore large giants. And their height was 3,000 cubits. Now, what I want to point out is that these fallen angels taught men witchcraft. The Masons, that's why you see that all-seeing eye every damn where. On the back of the dollar bill, you have that damn pyramid, and on top of it, the all-seeing eye. That's witchcraft. Those are spells to keep you blind. The media, television, it wants you to not believe in the giants, because the watchers, they know that their judgment is coming for them. They're still here. They know that their judgment is coming. They come from their dimension, that they pop into ours, in and out. That's what the all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye represents the watchers, the sons of God, the angels that had sex with women and created these giants. These fallen ones taught charms and spells. The masonry, witchcraft is everywhere in America, everywhere around the world, to keep you blind. That's the witchcraft. That's the spells.
Everything I've written is to this point where Jesus said, if the days weren't shortened for the elect's sake, there'd be no flesh left alive.
Steve, in your book True Legends, you talk about a Smithsonian Cover Up whenever giant bones are involved. So I want to ask you the question that everybody always asks. Where are all the giant bones?
It's interesting, Tim, because of the bias of the Smithsonian and their contempt for out-of-place artifacts. Every time giants were found, it didn't matter if it was on the West Coast, the Arctic, the Antarctic, believe it or not, the East Coast, the Ohio River mounds, they always have a fabulous cutoff point, meaning once the Smithsonian is notified and those bones are sent to the Smithsonian, they're never heard from again. And there's denials. A good example of that, it was a famous Kincaid expedition to the Grand Canyon, where they found the Egyptian citadel. Even the Phoenix Gazette carried that story. So, Tim, the cover-up has always been to keep this biblically relevant topic out of the minds of the people, so at an appropriate time in the future, they can claim whatever they want to claim, and they'll claim anything and everything apart from the true biblical origin of giants.
So, Steve, even during World War II, there were reports of giants and cannibalism coming out of the Solomon Islands. What was that all about?
After World War II, people couldn't reconcile the fact that a lot of servicemen, U.S. servicemen, had been eaten, cannibalized, as well as Japanese. And the fascinating investigation I've come up with was the fact that the Solomon Islands are riddled with stories of cannibalistic giants and even living giants to this day. I was contacted by a man named Marius who was literally going to meet me in California with, let's just say this, irrefutable evidence. But he said to me on the phone, he said, Steve, I'm being followed, and I'm not sure I'll even make it there alive. What has to be asked, the question that needs to be asked and has to be asked, is that why do people who have the evidence, why are they intimidated? Why are they threatened? Why are they disappeared? What is this cover-up? And I'll tell you the bottom line, they do not want people to understand that the sons of God, the fallen angels, saw that the daughters of earth were fair, mated with them, and produced a literally new race of hybrid beings that the Bible calls the Rephaim. And the Rephaim are with us today. They're genetic trace, they're genetic markers. And when we get into super soldiers, Tim, the super soldiers, the most important expenditures made are to identify not only the bloodline, but the genetic traits. There are people literally not only wanting to bring the giants back, but to insert giant genes in our soldiers to give them the super soldier ability.
I got this book, the New World Order. This is page 42. I'm going to read what I highlighted. Whatever he meant by it, one thing is certain. The President of the United States has become the key player to prepare the world for the introduction of a new world order, which may one day resemble an order defined by someone else, not him. The Antichrist. That is the person who's going to take over. When they push out the mark of the beast in these concentration camps, it will change your DNA. You're not allowed to worship the Most High and His beloved Son. The world is preparing to use these giants, the seed of the fallen angels, to create their new world order. This is page 43. Because of the policies, America stands at the horizon, ready for dawning of the new paradigm around the world. Bush had originally used the term new paradigm in his inaugural address, but he now apparently prefers the phrase New World Order. You can go on YouTube, type in Bush New World Order. He says that all the time in his speeches. No one calls him out on it. No one called him out on it. No one. There will be increasing individual choice, especially in the education. All right, now they got this thing where homosexuals or transgenders can go into any kind of bathroom. The individual choice is to break the Most High's commandments, to be gay, to do whatever you want, to do witchcraft, which was passed on by the fallen angels. There will be increasing individual choice, especially in education. There is empowerment of the people to choose for themselves. That's why you got all these damn riots. All right, we should be focusing on the true leader of the world, which is the Most High. Why put all our strength and power in election? They're all puppets. They're all controlled. Our votes do not matter. There is empowerment of the people to choose for themselves. Fourth, there is greater decentralization of authority. Y'all about to wake up, man. Giants, they're real. And you're going to see them again.
More money being spent to identify genetic traces and markers, the actual gene prints of giants, both dead and extractable DNA from their teeth, from whatever cells in the mummies, to literally living giants today.
So in other words, what you're saying is somebody's trying to weaponize giant genes.
Absolutely. And the Super Soldier program is probably one of the most almost unbelievable, yet so believable programs that the U.S. military is involved in. And all the underground labs, all the secret places around the planet, everybody's after the same thing. They want comic book heroes that we would only laugh about and have laughed about maybe for 50 years, and now it's no longer fantasy, it's fact.
And we're not just talking about superhuman strength, are we? We're also talking about superhuman cerebral capabilities that the giants had.
Absolutely. Speaking of cerebral capabilities, the giants, even when they're in a stasis state, that means in suspended animation, whether it's Dr. Ernest Muldashev in Russia, in the mountains of Tibet, whether it's a whole underground base in which some of these entities, these living giants, are present, they have so much cerebral energy that they actually have what's called the red line, and you can't go past that. Or literally, they claim, according to special operations, 4-star generals, that literally it causes a person to almost come apart at the seams. It not only drives people mad, but it literally just causes them to go to pieces. You understand that's the ultimate weapon.